If you have been praying for a long time and nothing seems to be changing, this prayer is for you. Maybe you have asked God for healing, for a job, for a marriage to be restored, for a child to come home, or for direction about a decision you cannot keep putting off. You have prayed, and the silence has felt heavy. You have wondered if God even hears you anymore. Isaiah 40:31 tells us that those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength. Today, we are going to bring every tired, waiting place in our hearts to Him, and we are going to trust that His silence is not His absence. Before we pray, if this word is speaking to you, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Faith Over Pain, and comment the words, "I will wait on you, Lord," as your declaration for today. Let that be your first act of faith in this prayer. Isaiah 40:31 promises that those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength, rise up like eagles, run without growing weary, and walk without fainting. Waiting in this verse is not empty time. It is the very place where God rebuilds our strength for what is ahead. Lord, I come to you right now with the weight I have been carrying quietly. I have prayed about this for so long, and I do not always know if you are still listening. But your word says that waiting on you is not wasted. So I choose to believe that even now, in this moment, something in me is being renewed. I bring you the prayer I have prayed over and over, the one that still has not been answered the way I hoped. I bring you the mornings I have woken up and felt the same disappointment before I even opened my eyes. I bring you the nights I have laid awake, wondering if you still see me. You do not owe me an explanation, but you have never asked me to pretend I am fine. So today I am honest with you. I am tired of waiting, and yet, Lord, I want to trust you more than I want an explanation. I want to believe that this waiting has a purpose, even one I cannot see yet. Teach me what it means to wait on you, the way Isaiah describes, not as a passive standing still, but as a quiet dependence on you that lets you do the work in me that I cannot do for myself. Strengthen me today, not with a burst of emotion that fades by tomorrow, but with a steady renewal that carries me through the ordinary hours of this week. Help me rise the way an eagle rises, not by fighting the wind, but by resting in it and letting it carry me higher than I could climb on my own. Teach me to let you carry me the same way through this season. I do not want to just survive this waiting, Lord. I want to be changed by it. Do in me whatever needs to be done, so that when the answer finally comes, I am ready for it, and so that even before it comes, I am closer to you than I was before I started waiting. Isaiah's picture of waiting begins with the eagle, but there is something underneath that image worth pausing on. An eagle does not grow its strength by struggling against the sky. It grows strength by trusting currents it cannot see and letting them do the lifting. That is such a different picture than the way most of us wait. We tend to wait by gripping tightly, by replaying the same worries, by trying to force an outcome through sheer will. Isaiah is describing something else entirely. A strength that comes from release, not effort. Lord, I confess that my waiting has often looked more like gripping than resting. I have held on so tightly to the outcome I want that I have missed the chance to rest in you while I wait. Teach me today what it looks like to let go of my grip without letting go of my hope. I think about how tired I have become from trying to manage what only you can manage. I have tried to control timelines that were never mine to control. I have tried to predict outcomes that only you know. Forgive me for the exhaustion I have caused myself by carrying what you already offered to carry. Right now, I release the pressure I have placed on myself to make this happen faster. I release the anxious replaying of every possible outcome. I release the fear that if I stop worrying, I will somehow lose control of a situation I never controlled in the first place. Lord, catch me the way the wind catches the eagle. Let your strength hold what my strength cannot. For anyone listening right now who feels like they have been flapping hard against a season that will not move, I ask that you would teach them and teach me how to rest in the current of your timing instead of fighting it. Let today be the day our waiting shifts from exhausting struggle into quiet trust. Psalm 27:13 and 14 say this: I would have lost heart unless I had believed that I would see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. David wrote those words in the middle of real danger and real waiting, and he admits plainly that he would have lost heart if he had not held on to a specific hope, seeing God's goodness while he was still alive to see it. Lord, so many of us are waiting for good news we can hold in our hands. Some are waiting for a doctor to say the words they have been praying to hear. Some are waiting for test results, for a diagnosis to change, for pain to finally ease. I bring every person carrying that kind of waiting before you right now, including myself, if this is my story too. I ask, like David asked, for the courage to believe I will see your goodness while I am still living, not only someday in eternity, but here, in this body, in this present season. I do not presume to demand a specific outcome from you, because I know you are God, and I am not. But I ask you to let hope stay alive in me while I wait for news, for progress, for relief. Strengthen my heart the way David asked you to strengthen his. When I feel my courage slipping, when I start bracing for the worst instead of hoping for good, meet me there. Remind me you are near to the ones who are anxious about their health, their bodies, and the people they love who are unwell. For anyone praying for a loved one's healing right now, I ask that you would surround that family with your presence in the waiting room, in the hospital hallway, in the quiet nights of watching someone they love struggle. Let them see your goodness even in the small mercies along the way. A peaceful night, a kind nurse, a moment of clarity, a small sign that you have not forgotten them. Lord, be of good courage in me where I have none left to manufacture on my own. Let my heart be strengthened, not because the news has changed yet, but because I trust the one who holds the news before I ever hear it. There is a kind of waiting that does not involve a hospital or a diagnosis, but it wears a person down just the same. The waiting for stability, for provision, for a way to pay what is owed and still have peace at the end of the month. Habakkuk 2:3 says that the vision is yet for an appointed time, and even though it tarries, we should wait for it, because it will surely come and will not delay. Habakkuk was told to keep watching for something that had not yet arrived, and to trust that its lateness was not the same as its absence. Lord, I bring my financial worries to you honestly. I bring the job I am still searching for, the paycheck that does not stretch far enough, the bills that arrive faster than the answers do. I do not enjoy admitting how much this weighs on me, but you already know, so I will not pretend with you. Teach me what Habakkuk had to learn, that an appointed time is still a real time, even when it feels delayed. Help me stop measuring your faithfulness by my calendar and start trusting that you are not late, even when I cannot understand your timing. I ask for provision, Lord, in whatever form you know I truly need. Open the right door for work, not just any door, but the one that fits the life you are building in me. Give me wisdom with the money I do have, so I steward it well, instead of living in constant fear about what I do not have yet. For anyone listening who is searching for a job right now, sending resumes into silence, walking into interviews that lead nowhere, I ask that you would encourage them today. Let them not measure their worth by how quickly the answer comes. Let them trust that you see every application, every rejection, every quiet worry about the future, and that you are still working even when the appointed time has not yet arrived. Steady my heart while I wait, Lord. Let me watch for your provision the way Habakkuk was told to watch, with confidence, not despair. There is a particular ache that comes from watching a door stay closed no matter how many times we knock in prayer. Some of us have prayed the same prayer for years, and the door has not moved. It has not opened wider or shut completely. It has simply stayed closed, and that unresolved waiting can be harder than a clear no. Lord, I do not understand why this door is still closed. I have prayed, I have hoped, I have tried to be patient, and still nothing has changed. I will not pretend that does not frustrate me, because you already know it does. But I am choosing, in this moment, to trust that a closed door is not proof that you have stopped working. Help me hold this situation with open hands instead of pushing against a door you have not opened yet. I do not want to force my way into something you are protecting me from, and I do not want to give up on something you are still preparing me for. Give me the discernment to know the difference and the patience to wait for your timing either way. I release my need to understand why right now. I release the constant checking, the constant hoping this will be the day it finally changes. Instead, I ask you to keep my heart soft toward you in the waiting, so that whether this door opens next week or years from now, I have not grown bitter in the meantime. For anyone who has been knocking on the same door for a long time, I ask that you would refresh their hope today, not by promising it will open tomorrow, but by reminding them that you are trustworthy, no matter when it opens. Some of the heaviest waiting we carry is not about circumstances at all. It is about people we love. Waiting for reconciliation with someone who hurt us, waiting for a marriage to heal instead of continuing to fracture, waiting for a child who has drifted far from home or far from you to find their way back, waiting for someone we love to come to know you at all. Lord, I bring the relationships I have been praying over for so long. I bring the person I long to be reconciled with, even if I do not know if that reconciliation will ever come. I bring my marriage, if it is struggling, And I ask you to do the healing work in both hearts that neither of us can force on our own. I bring my child, if I am waiting for them to come home, whether that means home to our family or home to you. I cannot make anyone choose you. I cannot make anyone choose reconciliation. I cannot make anyone ready to receive the love I am trying to offer. So I bring my helplessness honestly before you, because you are the only one who can soften a heart that has hardened. Work in the people I love, Lord, even in ways I cannot see or measure. Keep drawing them gently. Keep placing people and moments in their path that point them back to you. And while you work in them, work in me too. Keep me from growing resentful. While I wait, keep my love for them from turning into control or manipulation disguised as concern. Let me love them the way you love me, patiently, without giving up. For anyone praying for a prodigal child, a distant spouse, or a loved one who does not yet know you, I ask that you would carry the weight of that waiting with them today, because it is one of the heaviest kinds there is. There is another kind of waiting that does not come from asking for something new, but from grieving something already lost, waiting for the ache of losing someone to soften, waiting for a morning to come when their absence does not feel like the very first thing you notice. Grief has its own long, quiet waiting room, and it does not move on anyone else's schedule. Lord, if I am carrying grief right now, I bring it to you without trying to rush past it. I do not want to pretend I am healed faster than I actually am. And I do not want to treat sadness as something I should hide from you. You wept at a grave you were about to empty, so I know sorrow is not something you are ashamed of. Sit with me in mine. I am not asking you to erase the loss or pretend it did not happen. I am asking you to be near to me while I carry it, to comfort me in the specific moments the missing feels heaviest, the empty chair, the unanswered phone call, the anniversary that arrives whether I am ready or not. Let me feel, even briefly, that you have not left me alone with this pain. Help me be patient with my own healing. Grief does not follow a straight line, and some days will feel harder than the day before it, even after time has passed. Do not let me be ashamed of the days that feel like setbacks. Meet me in them, just as fully as you meet me on the days that feel lighter. For anyone listening who is grieving someone they love, whether the loss happened recently or long ago, I ask that you would comfort them today in a way that fits exactly what they are carrying. Let them know that waiting for grief to ease is not weakness, and that you are patient with every step of that long road home to peace. Romans 8:28 tells us that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to His purpose. This verse does not say that everything happening is good. It says that God works within all of it, even the hard parts, to bring about something good in the end for those who belong to Him. Lord, there are things happening in my life right now that do not feel good at all. I am not going to insult you by pretending they do, but I am asking you to help me trust that you are working within them anyway, weaving something purposeful, even through pain I did not choose and would not have chosen. Help me stop demanding that you explain every piece before I trust the whole. I do not need to understand exactly how this situation will become good. I only need to trust that you are the one doing the working, and that you are faithful to finish what you start. I confess that sometimes I confuse the promise of Romans 8:28 with a promise that pain will not touch me. Teach me the truth instead, that the promise is not the absence of pain, but your presence within it, shaping it towards something redemptive. For everyone who has walked through disappointment they did not deserve, a loss they did not choose, a delay they did not ask for, I ask that you would remind them, remind us that you are still working, even now, even here, in exactly this. Some of us are not just waiting on one specific thing, we are exhausted in our spirit from waiting in general. We feel like we have prayed so many prayers that we have run out of new words to say. We wonder if God has grown tired of hearing from us, even though we know, somewhere underneath the exhaustion, that is not true. Lord, I am tired, not just tired in my body, but tired in my spirit. I have prayed and prayed, and some days I do not even know what else to ask you for, because I feel like I have already said it all. I come to you today without eloquent words, just honesty. I do not want to fake enthusiasm I do not feel. I do not want to perform faith while my heart is quietly worn out. So instead, I simply ask you to meet me in my exhaustion the way you met Elijah under the tree when he was too tired to keep going, with rest first and strength after. Renew my spirit, Lord, the way Isaiah promised. Not with pressure to feel differently right away, but with a gentle restoration that happens in your timing, not mine. Let me feel, even faintly, that you are near to me in this weariness, and that you have not grown tired of my prayers, even the repeated ones, even the exhausted ones. For anyone who feels spiritually depleted right now, who has been praying so long they feel numb to their own words, I ask that you would give them rest today, real rest, the kind only you can give, and that you would remind them that a tired prayer still reaches you just as clearly as an eloquent one. Waiting becomes especially difficult when a major decision sits unresolved and every path forward looks unclear. Should I take this job or stay where I am? Should I move or stay put? Should I make this change now or wait longer? The waiting for direction can feel just as heavy as waiting for an answer to a prayer already asked. Lord, I need wisdom for the decision in front of me. I do not want to move ahead of you out of impatience, and I do not want to stay still out of fear when you are actually calling me to move. Give me clarity where I have confusion and peace where I have anxiety about choosing wrong. Help me trust that you are not silent about my future even when the next step feels unclear. Sometimes your guidance comes slowly, one small step revealed at a time, rather than the whole path laid out at once. Teach me to trust the step in front of me instead of demanding to see the whole staircase before I move. Quiet the fear in me that says, if I choose wrong, everything will fall apart. I know you are bigger than my mistakes, and I know you can redirect me even if I take a wrong turn along the way. Free me from the paralysis of trying to make a perfect decision and give me instead the confidence to make a faithful one. For anyone facing a decision they cannot keep delaying, I ask that you would give them wisdom today, real, practical wisdom, the kind that settles a restless mind and helps them take the next right step with confidence in you. It is hard to keep waiting patiently, While it looks like everyone else around us is moving forward, friends are getting married, while we are still praying for our own relationship. Oh, coworkers are getting promoted while we are still waiting for our breakthrough at work. It is easy to let comparison turn our waiting into resentment. Lord, forgive me for the moments I have compared my timeline to someone else's and let it steal my peace. Their season moving forward does not mean you have forgotten mine. Help me celebrate what you are doing in other people's lives without feeling like it diminishes what you are doing or will do in mine. Remind me that you are not working from a single script applied to everyone the same way. You know exactly what I need and exactly when I need it, even if it looks different from what someone else is experiencing. Teach me to trust your specific plan for me instead of measuring my life against someone else's calendar. Take the comparison out of my heart, Lord, and replace it with contentment, not the kind that stops hoping for change, but the kind that trusts you while the change is still coming. Let me be able to genuinely rejoice with others without secretly wondering why it is not my turn yet. For anyone watching someone else's prayer get answered while they are still waiting for theirs, I ask that you would guard their heart from bitterness today and remind them that your timing for their life has never depended on anyone else's. Long waiting has a way of uncovering bitterness we did not know was still there. Maybe someone hurt us on the way to this season, said something careless, walked away when we needed them, or simply did not understand what we were carrying. It is easy to let that hurt quietly harden while we wait for everything else to be resolved. Lord, show me if there is unforgiveness sitting underneath my waiting. I do not want to walk into whatever you have next for me, while still dragging resentment from what happened along the way. Soften whatever has grown hard in me toward the people who did not handle my waiting season with the care I needed. I release the people who misunderstood me, who grew tired of hearing about this before I was ready to stop talking about it, who offered easy answers to a hard situation. I do not need them to apologize for me to let it go. Help me forgive the way you have forgiven me fully, even when it is not deserved and even when it is not asked for. At the same time, Lord, forgive me for the moments I have grown short with the people around me because my own patience was worn thin. Waiting can make a person irritable in ways they do not intend. Help me extend the same grace to others that I am asking you to extend to me. For anyone listening who has let this season quietly turn into bitterness towards someone else, I ask that you would begin the work of forgiveness in their heart today, not because the hurt did not matter, but because carrying it any longer will only make the waiting heavier than it already is. Sometimes waiting is not just delay, it is preparation. There are things in us that only get shaped in the waiting room. Patience we could not learn any other way. Dependence on you we would not have developed if the answer had come immediately. Waiting is often the place where God does His quietest and most important work. Lord, I want to believe that this waiting is doing something in me, not just to me. I do not want to just get through this season. I want to be shaped by it. Show me what you are building in my character while I wait for the circumstances to change. If there is impatience in me that needs to soften into trust, refine it. If there is pride that wants to control every outcome, humble it gently. If there is fear that keeps me from fully surrendering this situation to you, replace it with confidence in your goodness. I would rather leave this waiting season more like you than leave it merely with my request granted and my character unchanged. Help me stop resenting the classroom of waiting and start learning what it has to teach me. Let patience take root in me here, faith grow deeper here, and my trust in you become less dependent on visible results and more anchored in who you are. For anyone who feels like this season is shaping them in ways they did not expect or ask for, I ask that you would help them see the value in it, even while they keep hoping and praying for the change they long for. There is comfort in remembering that waiting can also be protection. Sometimes what feels like an unanswered prayer is actually you holding something back because the timing is not right yet, or because the thing we are asking for would harm us if it came too soon. We cannot always see the danger you are shielding us from. Lord, I trust that if you have withheld something I've asked for, it is not because you do not care, but because you care enough to protect me from something I cannot see. Help me trust your no or your not yet, even when I do not understand it. I do not want to spend this waiting season resenting you for what has not come. I want to trust that your protection is just as real as your provision, even when protection looks like delay. Give me peace with the things I do not understand and confidence that you are working for my good even in the waiting itself. Thank you for the things you have shielded me from that I never even knew to be grateful for, the outcomes that would have hurt me, the doors that would have led somewhere painful. I trust you with the doors still closed today, the same way I would thank you for the ones I now understand you closed for my protection. For anyone struggling to trust a delay that feels more like protection than rejection, I ask that you would give them peace today and the ability to rest in your care, even without full understanding. It is tempting, while waiting for something big to change, to let the ordinary parts of life go neglected, as if nothing matters until the answer finally arrives. But the waiting season is still made up of real days, real responsibilities, real people who need us to show up, even while our hearts are somewhere else. Lord, help me stay faithful in the small, ordinary things while I wait for the bigger answer. Help me show up well at work, even though my mind keeps drifting to what has not been resolved yet. Help me be present with my family, my friends, and the people right in front of me instead of living only in the future I am hoping for. I do not want to put my whole life on pause simply because one part of it feels unfinished. Teach me to hold this waiting with one hand while I still tend to today's responsibilities with the other. Let me find you just as much in the ordinary tasks of this week as I am hoping to find you in the answer I am waiting for. Give me the discipline to keep praying even on the days it feels routine, to keep showing kindness even when I am tired, to keep doing the next right thing even without a guarantee of how this season ends. Let faithfulness in small things be its own form of trust in you. For anyone who feels like they have been merely surviving the ordinary parts of life, while waiting for one specific answer. I ask that you would help them find purpose and presence in today, even while their hope stays fixed on tomorrow. As this waiting continues, I ask you to build endurance in me, the kind Habakkuk was told to have when he watched for the appointed time, the kind David had when he chose to believe he would see your goodness while he was still living. Endurance is not the absence of struggle. It is the choice to keep trusting you in the middle of it. Lord, give me the strength to keep showing up in prayer, even on the days it feels repetitive. Give me the strength to keep hoping, even when the circumstances have not shifted at all. Let my endurance not come from gritting my teeth and forcing myself to keep going, but from resting in you the way the eagle rests in the wind, trusting your strength more than my own effort. I do not want to give up in this season, but I also do not want to endure it with a clenched jaw and a bitter heart. Teach me what it means to endure with peace, to wait with steadiness instead of constant striving, to trust you quietly instead of demanding answers loudly. Let my endurance become a witness, not because I am strong, but because you are faithful, and my continued trust in you through this delay says more about who you are than it does about who I am. For anyone who feels like they are running out of endurance today, I ask that you would refill them, quietly and steadily, the way you promised in Isaiah, not with a burst of emotion, but with a strength that carries them through the ordinary hours ahead. Some of us are not waiting for a first chance. We are waiting for the courage to try again after something did not work out the way we hoped. A failed attempt, a business that did not survive, a plan that fell apart despite our best effort. Starting over can feel heavier than starting the first time, because now we carry the memory of what did not go the way we planned. Lord, if I am standing at the edge of starting again, I ask you to steady my heart. It is hard to hope with the same freedom I once had, now that I have seen how things can fall apart, even when I tried my best. Do not let past disappointment convince me that trying again is foolish. Instead, let it teach me what to carry differently this time. Remove the shame I have quietly attached to the things that did not work out. Failure is not the same as being forgotten by you, and a closed chapter is not the same as a wasted life. Help me see the lessons in what I lost without letting those lessons harden into fear that keeps me from moving forward at all. Give me the courage to take the next step, even a small one, even an uncertain one. I do not need to see the whole future clearly before I am willing to try again. I only need enough trust in you to take today's step, and enough grace for myself if this new attempt looks different than I expect. For anyone listening who is rebuilding something after loss, whether it is a career, a dream, a relationship, or simply their own confidence, I ask that you would go with them into this new beginning. Let them start again, not from fear, but from a quiet trust that you are the same faithful God on this side of the setback as you were before it happened. Lord, I am also learning that waiting sometimes means being redirected instead of simply being delayed. What I am asking for may not be exactly what you are preparing to give me. Help me hold my requests with open hands, trusting that you may answer this prayer in a way I did not expect, and that your redirection is never a rejection of me, I release my insistence on one specific outcome. I release my fear that if this does not happen exactly the way I have imagined, I have somehow lost. Help me trust that your plans, even the ones that surprise me, are rooted in a love for me that never wavers. If you are redirecting my path right now, give me the humility to follow instead of resisting, and the peace to trust that a different answer can still be a good answer, even if it looks nothing like what I originally prayed for. For anyone who senses that God might be leading them somewhere different than what they originally asked for, I ask that you would give them the courage to follow, even when it is unfamiliar, and the confidence that your redirection always comes from love. Lord, as I come to the end of this prayer, I want to return to where we started. You said that those who wait on you will renew their strength, rise like eagles, run and not grow weary, walk and not faint. I understand that promise differently now than I did when this prayer began. Waiting on you is not empty time, it is not punishment, and it is not proof that you have forgotten me. It is the place where you quietly rebuild what has been worn down, where you strengthen what was weak, where you prepare me for what is still ahead. I do not know exactly when my answer is coming. I do not know exactly what shape it will take, but I know that you are near to me in the waiting, that your silence has never meant your absence, and that every day I keep trusting you in this in-between place. You are doing something in me that I could not have received any other way. Help me leave this prayer with a little more peace than I came with, not because my circumstances have changed yet, but because my heart has settled more deeply into who you are. Let me walk through today, and however many more days this waiting continues, with quiet confidence instead of quiet fear. Thank you for hearing every prayer I have brought you, the confident ones and the exhausted ones, the specific ones and the ones where I barely knew what to say. Thank you for staying near to me even when I could not feel you close. I trust you with what comes next. I trust you with the timing I cannot control. I trust you with the people I love, the decisions I am facing, the healing I am hoping for, and the provision I am still waiting on. I pray this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. If this prayer met you exactly where you are, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Faith Over Pain so you never miss a moment like this one. Comment the words, "I will wait on you, Lord," if you are still standing in faith today. And if you know someone who needs to hear that God's silence is not His absence, share this prayer with them right now.